Good evening. We'll call this special meeting for the proposed levy order for rate sheet for the fiscal year 2027 on this snowy March 17th, 2026. And Mr. Chris, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chris. Thank you, board members. Let the record reflect we have 4 board members present this evening. And before we get into discussions, we'll go ahead and open up for a motion. And then we'll let Paula kind of talk through this. So do I have a motion for finance?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Whitlock. Thank you, Mr. Chris. And I will now turn the floor over to you, Ms. Fridley.
Good evening. Before you have the scheduled proposed levy rates for fiscal year 2027. I've prepared them in accordance with guidance from the West Virginia State Auditor's Office. There's just a few things I want to point out to you this year. Starting with our assessed property values in Fayette County. They increased over fiscal year 26 by $89 million. So our property values are going up, assessments are going up in the county. The main increase was public utilities, Class 3 public utilities, for $52 million. So that was quite a substantial increase. As of right now, we are at about 76% of our projected tax intake here in the school system, which puts us right on track. It's the end of the third quarter, so we're at 76%. So we are projected to bring in the full amount that we levied last year for this current school year. For the upcoming school year, fiscal year ended June 30, 2027, I'm proposing a projected net taxes to be collected from the current expense levy is $10,595,737. Sorry. And from the school excess levy, $12,849,054. That puts us at a total of $23,444,791 for fiscal year 27, which is an increase over our proposed rates for this year of $1.1 million. And this schedule will go to the State Auditor's Office for approval. Once they approve our rates to make sure that I have done everything correctly on here, we'll bring it back April 21st for a board vote and be able to enter the levy rates.
Okay, board members, any questions? Paula, you hear me ask this every year, any changes in our uncollectibles? Are they staying on target?
They're staying on target. We're collecting a little more each year than we propose.
Okay.
Just not extravagant amounts, but we're coming in close.
Okay, with valuations going up, that's always a concern that
Yes.
I have, so.
Yes.
Okay.
I looked at FY25, and we were, at this time of year, we were at 76% also.
Okay.
So we're right on target.
All right, so board members, we have no other actions tonight. We won't vote until we come back and reconvene. So we will, unless there's any other questions, we'll recess this meeting and come back in a month, right?
Tuesday, April the 21st.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then we'll actually vote on the rates at that time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else? All right, if not, we will put this meeting in recess.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Paula. right, good evening again. We are now going to open up our special meeting for our calendar. And if you would stand with me, I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Again, let the record reflect, we have 4 board members present this evening, and we will let Ms. Dow kind of walk us through again the calendar and if we've had any comments submitted.
I have not received any other comments. We've not had any guest speaker or anybody sign up to speak, so I would just open it up to any questions that the board members would have, I guess.
Board members, any questions at this point? So no comments have been received?
No, sir, not any more since last week that was
Okay.
given to you.
Okay, and no speakers have signed up this evening. Mr. Superintendent, any comments?
The only comment I have is this will probably be the last time we do this type of calendar, knowing that what the legislation just passed. So this will be to be continued as we move forward.
For sure, yes. Okay, having no public speakers, no other questions from the board members, we'll come back together in 15 minutes for our regular meeting. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Whitlock. Thank you, Mr. Groom. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Just Josh?
Just me.
Any opposed? All right.
Josh was the only one that opposed.
We're ready to move.
You're the only one that opposed.
Right. welcome to the regular session of Fayette County Board of Education this evening on March 17th, 2026, our third meeting of the evening. So with that, if you would, Ms. Whitlock, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Whitlock. Thank you, board members. Before we move forward with our agenda this evening, we would just like to take a moment to observe a moment of silence as today we laid to rest our good friend, our colleague, Coach Gary Ray. So if you would join us. Amen. Okay, so we'll get started. Just a couple adjustments to the agenda. Board members, item 1046, we'll remove. I think we've got the CODA annual report rescheduled. Amy, is that in 1 month?
April 14th.
Okay, April 14th. And then under the 2000 series, if you'll strike item 2090. We will not need to consider that this evening. So, with that, we do have some public comments this evening. So I'll invite our speakers to come up to the microphone. And Ms. Hayes, you're up first, discussing personnel.
Good evening. I want to start by first telling you all how much I appreciate the weight of your positions. Today was a long, hard day and a really fitting send-off, and also a reinforcement of the testimony of how weighty your jobs are. And I'd also like to personally thank Ms. Dial and Mr. Warble for all of the work they've done, and I can't imagine the reams of paper they've been through looking at the positions in the county and how to keep our county out of the newspaper for not being able to make payroll. So I do want to say thank you for that, because that is something that luckily we haven't had to deal with and other counties are. And so I understand the whole process of position cuts. But I want to speak to you tonight not from the position of the principal who's trying really hard to build a master schedule right now, facing the cuts that we have, but also looking at the needs of my students, because that's at the end of the day the question I ask myself every day. Did I make the right decision for kids? So I'm in a class, I'm here for two reasons. One, for this, and two, Matt, Melissa, and I are in a rising superintendent's cohort. And so we're required to attend a board meeting and take notes on the board meeting tonight. So I'm here for that. And in that class, we're constantly told to shift our perspective. Don't think as a principal or as a director of secondary. Think as if you sit in Mr. Warble's seat. And sometimes I just say, no, I don't want to think like that. I don't want to be that yet. I'm not in that position or that realm. But knowing what you guys think about, I don't come here lightly. You all know I'm a team player. I am running the biggest school in the county, one of the top 20 biggest schools in the state. And it's a responsibility I take very seriously and I take a great deal of pride in. And I understand the declining enrollment in the county and the fact that cuts have to happen because of declining enrollment in the county. But my school is not declining, it's increasing. So my school enrollment from FY24 to FY25, October 24 to October 25, I lost 7 students. And from October 25, my projected enrollment, and this is after I sort through the kids who will transfer to Midland Trail and my Valley kids who won't come to me, is still looking to be right at about 1075, which is an increase in enrollment. And the thoughts of increasing enrollment and a reduction in staff is painful to me. And again, I learned a long time ago in this job, you don't look at people, you look at positions. But what I'm looking at, the people I'm looking at, are the faces of my students. And we're already facing something out of your control, which is an expiring grant, which is going to remove my therapist and my social worker from my building. And you guys know the importance of those roles, especially in a high school of my size with the population I serve. I have a population of students that is diverse, which sounds funny because we aren't really in a ethnically diverse area, but we are in a socioeconomically diverse area. And my kids need all the support they can from social workers and therapists, and I'm not giving up on writing grants to restore a position like that at my school. But what I need to look at is, in building the schedule, I'm seeing a reduction in the number of electives I can offer my students. I'm having to take off the table some classes that were already, the course requests were already in. The students have high interest levels in taking some classes that are for them. I'm having to remove those. I'm having to remove advanced placement courses. And I'm struggling to get my dual credit courses that I'd already had in place to continue. Again, and it's because of a reduction in staff. So I just want to say to you all tonight, I appreciate you. I admire you for the seats you're in. I know the position that Ms. Dial and Mr. Warble are in, and you guys are helping me to make some expansions on programs, and I appreciate that. But what kind of leader would I be if I didn't come here tonight to fight for my students and for the best way my school could run? So thank you all for your time.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hayes. Our next speaker is Mr. Steve Slockett. Mr. Slockett, if you'll come forward.
I just want to talk a few minutes about Coach Ray. I guess I want to thank the Lord for bringing Coach Ray into my life. I knew Coach when my kids were in high school, just very, to say hi. But once he moved back to Oak Hill, him and I became very close and became real good buddies, okay? He came to the Antique Mall to see me all the time. I went over his house. We belonged to Lions Club together. We ate breakfast with Punk Spangler and Tom Mason at the Heart of Gold for breakfast. Cindy, Kathy, and I and Coach ate at Heart of Gold, spaghetti dinners and whatnot. I'm going to miss him greatly, and my heart cries every minute I think about Coach. What a fine man he was. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Slockett. Okay. Next up, Mr. Wright, if you'd like to come up. I think you're going to talk about the Oak Hill High School's athletic director position. Okay. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna start out by saying I am a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. This is a little intimidating. Yeah, that's right. So forgive me if I stumble over my words or anything like that. Okay. I'm here to talk about the athletic director job at OHHS and the importance of having a full-time AD. I'll start by saying, if putting these responsibilities on an administrator at a high school the size of Oak Hill High School with a high admin/pupil ratio is putting that AD work will be putting a strain on one of those guys or that team in a whole. I'm not going to begin to talk about the responsibilities of a principal. I have no idea. I know it's a lot. And like I said, the size of a school like Oak Hill High School, I'm sure they got their hands full. But I will run down my checklist that I have weekly. So weekly, I check Travel Tracker. I put in buses for 2 schools, Oak Hill High School and middle school. Check to make sure those buses are correct. check to make sure every student, every sport gets to their destination. And a time like this time, when there's a lot of cancellations, there's a lot that goes into that as well. So you have to get on there and make sure you cancel your buses, reschedule your buses. It's a lot. Those two things in itself. I create a weekly email that I send out to the admin, coaches, gate workers, anybody that's involved with sports. I create a weekly email that I send out to those guys. I go in and check GoFan to make sure all events, all sporting events are uploaded to our GoFan. I check to make sure we have referees and umpires for each game. That can get a little bit shaky at times, but it is it's part of the job. And one of the most important things is making my community contacts. Being a high school is ran by the community, I think. Not necessarily ran by the community, but a community, but having the backing of a community is very important for a high school.
Yes.
Making those contacts, letting everybody know what's going on, that's very important. Checking to make sure our venues are up to date, safe, lights are working, scoreboard's working, that we have everything that we need. I also work with the custodians to make sure bathrooms are clean. That's a big thing for us. Make sure those bathrooms are clean, making sure the stadium is ready and ready for the events. There's other things on this sheet, but I'm not going to bore you guys with all that. But with that being said, my role doesn't just stop with the stuff that's on this sheet. The school day ends at 2:30. That's when sporting events start. So a lot of times my phone rings 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I'm there for it. I mean, it's important to me. Being there for the coaches, being there for the kids, being there for the parents, being there for the community. One thing I take pride in my title as athletic director, if people ask me, I say it with pride. I'm the AD at my old school. It means a lot. And with that being said, I'm getting a little emotional, but athletics nowadays it's a 365 thing. We have a new thing called Flex Days. So all summer, kids and athletes, they're busy all summer. So with that being said, I'm busy all summer as well. And I'm there for it. 5 minutes is up.
Yeah,
I'm
if you can
sorry.
just conclude, we'll give you
Yeah.
another minute
All
or
right.
so if you need to conclude.
Well, I'll end by saying the vision of this job was created by one of you guys' colleagues, Coach Ray. A well-respected, well-known man in athletics in West Virginia and in Fayette County, and my mentor. And he knew the importance of having a full-time athletic director at a school this size. And just coming from a kid that used athletics to get where I am, having an athletic director there to guide me was very important in my life. Athletics has taken me far in my life, so I just feel it's important to have an athletic director. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Okay, that concludes our public speakers, so we'll move into recognitions and reports. And Mr. Harper, I'll invite you up for counselor's recognition of the RAMP Award.
All right, good evening. I'm going to start by reading an article from the March 2026 West Virginia School Counselor Spotlight. Congratulations to Heather Pack, Kayla Treadway, and Felicia Lester, school counselors at New River Intermediate, when receiving this prestigious ASCA recognized ASCA Model Program, or RAMP, designation. The National Honor highlights schools that deliver comprehensive data-driven counseling programs aligned with the ASCA national model. Fewer than 1,300 schools nationwide and only 2 schools in West Virginia have earned this recognition. This rigorous RAMP application process showcases evidence of direct and indirect student services, intentional programming, program planning, and measurable improvements in student outcomes. And this is really exciting and a privilege for these ladies, the school, and the county to be recognized with this honor. At this time, we'd like to recognize those 3 ladies. Felicia Lester.
Just come over here, and the other ladies will come and get a picture. They won't just give you a
He's scary.
Kayla Treadway.
Yeah, we'll get all of them.
And Heather Pack.
I don't think people understand how big of a deal this is. When you look at the state of West Virginia, there's only one school, and these 3 ladies put us on the map, and that's all 50 states. So this is a big deal. And when you hear these acronyms, what was it, ACA? See, they'll help me out. See how good of counselors they are?
Yeah.
But anyway, I know they worked hard, and it's a lot of work. And how much work does it take to put in to get this, what you guys did? Because I think people need to hear your hard work that you guys did.
Yeah, so we started this about 5 years ago. It takes at least 3 to get the award. So the first year you have to kind of collect all of your data to see where you are. The second year is where you really do the chunk of work and make sure that you're doing the work that you need to with the kids, identifying the kids you need to see. Then the third year is you actually apply. It takes 3 full years to get it done.
Yeah.
And mention the last time this happened in West Virginia.
When was the last time? I can't remember.
2017.
Was it 17?
Yeah.
And Stephanie Hayes from the State Department contacted me right away after you did. Miss Vicki Lagos is a great counselor for me and helps me out because you always need someone to help you on the outside to maybe see your blind spots. So that's what they do for the kids, and then adults help other adults out. So we are very blessed to have these ladies in our school system. I know you might want to come up here and get a picture with them, and you might want to come up here as well. We need to get you guys up here as well. So come on up here, Miss Atkins and Miss Lagos. I get to be the rose with all the more.
Stand by you or over here? Where
You go over
do you
here.
go? Okay.
I know you're not scared of me.
Okay.
Hopefully one will be good at it. Congratulations. This is a great honor.
Dave, one
Dave,
more.
you get one more.
Hold on, is there still
One
time?
more.
This is for the socials.
This is for the Tiki Talk now. She's our Tiki Talker.
Yeah, wait to see what Tom does with this picture. Got it.
At least I can do. I think Miss Lagos, she can't let a microphone go without being used. Okay.
I just want to say that girls like these, I think we have one male counselor, solid with him on this. They are what make my job so easy. That we have good, dependable, hard-working counselors with the best interest of the kids at heart. And right now, the biggest problem we have, you can verify this, is data. And I wish you could see the pages of data that they've had to accumulate while doing their other jobs as well. So I appreciate all of them. Appreciate you too.
Oh, thank you. And you ladies don't get extra bonus or anything, so if you want to sneak out, you're more than welcome.
somebody introducing Katie Johnson.
Hey, Matt, can you introduce Katie Johnson on the next presenter? Did you see on the agenda?
Yep, so our next recognition is for Project Adventure 2026, and Mr. Harper, if you'll introduce our guest.
Yes, the guest.
She's right there.
I couldn't find you. Katie Johnson from, what was it, Project Adventure 2026.
Good job.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I've known Katie a long time.
I was his stat keeper when my daughter played basketball, and it made me behave in the stands. He had a dual purpose.
I think she's telling on herself there. Amy, don't put that in the notes.
Well, it's funny seeing Heather Pack here and then talking about Coach Ray, kind of tight-knit community, how we all come together. I'm going to have Shelby Holt talk a little bit more about Project Adventure, but the foundation of Project Adventure came when we learned about the Iceland prevention model, and we learned how important kids' free time, their leisure time, was as a part of prevention, of substance use prevention. That we could really light a spark in kids that would keep them from future trouble. And people like Coach Ray, people like our athletic directors, and Heather Pack has really helped us with meeting youth's needs in the summertime. But Project Adventure was born when we learned that reaching kids and in their leisure time was maybe one of the best things you could do to prevent early onset of substance use. And preventing early onset of substance use by even 2 years would have drastic results later on in life, like they would graduate from school. Less risky behaviors like teenage pregnancies, if we could really meet what these kids are looking for. And so we started Project Adventure in 2019. We knew that kids had hurdles that would keep them from participating in meaningful activities like cost. Their parents couldn't facilitate. Transportation is a huge hurdle for our kids. But the number one hurdle that we identified was that our kids didn't know what was available to them. And so we created Project Adventure, and we've hosted it every spring except for the COVID years. And I'm going to let Shelby tell you a little bit more, because out of Project Adventure, we've developed a summer camp. So was that enough of a lead-in to give you anything to?
Yeah. So at Project Adventure, we bring all the 4th and 5th graders from Fayette County to the Fayette County Park in Beckwith, and they get to explore the park and try a variety of activities. And those include things like water sports, skateboarding. They get to try musical instruments with CODA. They also get to do, let's see, what are some other things? There's so many. Yes, and they get to do a lot of crafts. It's so many things. They're probably doing about 20 different activities in one day. And these activities are all presented by local organizations that are offering these activities locally. So that includes organizations like CODA, and we have the Scouts there. We have local church groups. Active Southern West Virginia comes, and I'm sure I'm missing a few, but it is so great to see all of these local community partners come together to showcase what our community has to offer. And a lot of these kids sign up for these activities after this event. We also send informational packets home so that the parents get to see what is available, how to sign up, what weeks summer camps are offered. And all of these activities are positive childhood experiences. So a lot of the time we hear about adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, but these are positive childhood experiences that help to buffer and outweigh those adverse childhood experiences. There's a lot of studies behind that on how helpful those can be to outweigh some of those traumatic events. And so leading into Camp SOAR, we were looking at Project Adventure, and we said, how can we turn this 2-day event into a program that lasts all summer long? And so Camp SOAR was born. Camp SOAR is a 6-week summer camp. It is held at the Fayette County Park in Beckwith, so the kids are doing similar activities. They're exploring the park, going to different stations. They have a chance to try new things and learn new skills. And it's really beneficial for them to be engaged over the summer to stay active. It keeps the brain active and learning. It helps reduce that summer slide. And in addition to all these positive childhood experiences they're getting at summer camp, we're also able to provide them with nutritious meals, thanks to the Board of Education and our partnership with them. And your assistance with transportation really helps us a lot too. We work with other local organizations and we get grants to help us keep the cost low. So the cost of camp is $75 a week, but we offer scholarships so that families can send a child to camp for as little as $7.50. And that really helps families out. We have a grandmother who is the caretaker of her 3 grandchildren because their parents are struggling with substance use disorder. And she is able to send those 3 kids to camp because of the help of the scholarships and because of your all's help providing transportation. And those kids show up every day. They're grateful to be there. They're so happy to have a chance to spend their summer doing fun things and be surrounded by friends and caring adults. And as you'll see in our data walk here, that really makes a difference. You'll see some statistics about kids doing meaningful activities with caring adults. So, yeah.
So that scheduled Project Avenger is 23rd and 24th of April. It's for all of our 4th graders and all of our 5th graders. It's a school field trip. And we ask that it's not incentive-based. So that, you know, a lot of times it's the kids with behavior problems that really need to know about this, you know, things that are available to them.
Yeah.
You all work with SOAR also?
What's that?
She is the director?
Yeah, I'm the
Have you met
camp
with-
director of SOAR, yes.
In fact, I think I met you one day, I came over there. Have you all met with WVU Extension people yet?
Yes.
Did they talk to you all about it?
Yes, we are excited to partner with them this summer. And we were sad to hear that Energy Express is not going to be able to operate in the Valley area. And so I'm working with them to get those contacts of those children that were involved in those programs and directly invite them to Camp SOAR and try and keep them, you know, fed and engaged this summer. Yes.
And with SOAR, is that rising 4th and 5th graders or existing 4th and 5th?
So SOAR is for 9 to 12-year-olds.
Okay.
And so that captures 4th through up through like 6th grade, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, 3rd into 6th, yeah.
And they can actually choose a week, they don't have to go every week?
They don't have to go
right?
all 6 weeks yet. They can pick which week works for their schedule. But we do ask them to come for like the full week, Monday through Friday. We kind of incentivize attendance, and they have to come 2 out of 3 days before our field trip on Thursday. So that helps to make sure that they're showing up so that they can go on that field trip.
Very good.
We also have a counselors in training program, so we're able to reach those 13 and 14-year-olds that have aged out of camp. They come as volunteers and help, and then we employ junior counselors who are in high school.
Yeah, keep them involved.
Good
Very
job.
good.
That's great.
All right, thank you.
Should I just hop right back up?
Yeah.
And most of us have met and did a data walk last time I was here, we were here. So we're with the Fayette Prevention Coalition. And I don't know, Mr. Christ and Mr. Warble, I don't know how well you understand we used to call it the ICE Collaborative, now we're calling it ICEC, Integrated Community Engagement Collaborative. Are you familiar with that at all?
A little bit.
A little bit, okay. So, yeah, we started in 2019, we've been collecting data annually. We just collected our 7th round of data from our students. We have some of the best data in the nation. We are so we're in partnership with the Prevention Research Center at WVU and our schools, and then the Fayette Prevention Coalition. At WVU, they just were awarded a NIDA grant that's going to allow 32 other counties in West Virginia to implement this model. And we are a consultant with those. Well, I will be consulting because we've had some success with it. So pretty soon, West Virginia is really going to be leading the nation in really good data. We have a data walk for you tonight. I want to show you how we present this into our communities. I know that our students a lot of times get over-surveyed. When I talk to principals, they're like, survey, survey, survey. And I'm like, this survey is really important. But this survey comes back to us. It comes back to the students. I love sharing the data with the students. It comes to the parents. It comes to you. It comes to elected officials. So how many surveys that are administered in the schools do we get to see the results from? I don't know that answer. But I know that this data is our data, and it puts the data in the community's hands so the community can gather around and solve problems and create a better place for youth rather than laying the onus on the schools. So I want to thank the principals and the school staff that help us administer this data. The schools are paid a stipend for administering these surveys. They're not asking for it for free. We look at substance use, but more importantly, we look at risk and protective factors. And we look in 4 domains: school, peers, leisure time activities, and family. And all of those are within the local community. Tonight, I'm going to show you data that's Fayette County averages. You'll see high school and middle school data, but we have data for Oak Hill High School, Oak Hill Middle School, so that when we go to the community, if we go to Meadowbridge, they're looking at Meadowbridge data, because we know Meadowbridge is going to have different solutions. So, all of you here are welcome to participate. We'd love to hear from everybody. If we have 5 stations there, we're going to get up, and we found that this works best, to get people up, walking around and looking at the data and talking about potential solutions. So I'm going to say maybe break up into groups of 4 or 5, and we'll go to can we do that?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go to a poster, and we might have, yeah. But we'll have a person at each poster. We talked about different ways to do this. There's a lot of people here, so.
Katie, we want to break up those groups, go to individual posters,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
everyone can come out and
Thank you.
participate right now.
Yep.
so.
Well, we thought it might be a small group.
Yeah.
fun to go through. I love the graphics
Yeah.
and the way it's put together. And
Yeah, it makes a difference when you see it like that.
doing the data walks is fun.
Yeah.
Gives us a minute to get up and go look at
Yeah,
stuff.
we needed some, awesome. Well, I appreciate you.
You need some aha moments too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
All right. Well, thank you, Katie.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All of you.
Okay, getting back now to our 2000 series minutes, agreements, and contracts. Again, we've got items 2085 through 2093, removing item 2090. So do I have a motion to accept?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Mr. Groom. Thank you, Mr. Christ. Any questions or comments?
2093.
Superintendent was approval.
Mr. Superintendent, you want to?
Tim, I might need your help on this one.
Okay.
Because I know you've been doing some research with this. It's 2093 with the deed at Collins Middle School.
Yes.
Do we own the property, do we not? How does that look? I know you've been working on that. Can you give the board an update on that?
I'll let you know, with our legal advice that we do not own that property, that property, the ownership of the property has reverted back to the school and to a trust. There's some kind of shared reversion there. What we're being asked to do is to sign basically approve a quitclaim deed that says we have no rights to this property.
Right.
Where anything that is in contention would now belong to whoever is accepting that deed, in this case the city, and they would continue forward with fighting whatever battles that there are to fight so that they could gain ownership of that property. So we're getting ourselves out from under. Do you want me to continue, or?
Unless, does that help answer your question?
Do we have a legal document that says we no longer?
We're going to.
We're
That's what
going
you're-
to.
That's what this is for.
Okay.
To approve the creation of that document by our legal representative.
You know how everything needs a piece of paper? This is a piece of paper.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
I
that'll
know.
help us out. But what we've been doing as good neighbors is we've helped out the city by, we'll mow it or weed eat, but sometimes people think they see us there, it's our property. We're just trying to be good neighbors, but in this case, we can still be good neighbors, but we
Sure.
just want to be done with this
Absolutely.
and move forward.
And they want it.
Yeah.
They asked for this, and our lawyer said, this is a great way.
To finish it up.
To finish this up and to move away from
So it's not ours anymore because it's no longer a school. That was the original
Yes, that's-
intent.
Yes.
I think that needs to be, some of
Yes.
us are new here
Thank you.
that don't know that.
And that's what I meant by the reversion
Yes.
clause. When we stopped using it for educational purposes, it then reverted back to the original owners in the deed. And there's some legal wrangling that's going on there that has never been extremely clear to me, but it doesn't revert to us in any way.
Right.
Okay, it reverts to another entity or possibly at least two other entities. I hope that helps.
Did that help?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
totally, you get asked, these are the kind of questions you get
Sure.
asked. And I drive by it 3 or 10 times a day, and I think, what a great place for a city pool, that'd be a great place for this,
Oh,
that.
it's a great
It's a
location.
great location. We were looking, FRN was looking for a place to, like, warehouse furniture when it gets donated, so that we could immediately give people things that they need.
Right.
We can't use any of that, we might be able to use the brick part.
Oh.
It's not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
But we can't ask, we need to wait to ask whoever ends up with it.
Right.
I guess, because the other part.
City of Oak
is
Hill at this
condemned,
point.
right?
The city of Oak Hill would be the ones who will be the,
Right.
If I
Does the
could
esteemed
offer-
councilman want to speak? to that?
Right,
Oh.
hey,
oh, yeah,
right
go,
now-
yeah, sure.
Right now, the city is in the middle of being our trust.
Right.
Okay, thank you. And the city also got an estimate to have it demolished, and it was like $1 million. Okay? So, of course, we don't have the money, the city doesn't have $1 million to pay to have it demolished, we'd have to get a grant. But it's still tied up between the city of Oak Hill and BMI Trust.
But you're willing to work on getting that grant?
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's that's the information that was relayed to me.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Wanted that public record.
I got you. Not wrong with that.
It's gone right on by. And
Now, I'm glad you asked because you've had two people who
two
are,
esteemed colleagues.
I like that.
No charge.
One from the north and one from the, yeah.
One on
You know
duty,
what?
one off duty.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How about talking a little bit about 2092, our HVAC program at FIT for adults?
Mean what we're doing with that?
Yeah, what's our plan here? Do we have some numbers?
Well, that's what actually, I was supposed to meet with Robert Keaton today about that, but someone called school off. So we're talking about that program as well as the one we're trying to create at Oak Hill for the pre-CT, but I don't have a specific update for you, but if you want to at the next board meeting, I can do that for you.
But we are approving it tonight.
Right.
So we don't have an estimation in front of you of how many students you might have?
Not at this point in time, I do not.
Any other questions on the 2000 series?
I had one on 2087. Under promotions, we crossed off demonstrated the degree of social, emotional, or physical maturation necessary. Is that just part of what they wanted us to cross off, or do we
What
have
they-
kids that don't there?
What that policy does is it puts in the third grade success act in the 9 facets that allow us to retain a child.
Okay, so
That was the only
okay.
part of that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just didn't know why we were,
That's why.
thank you. That's all I had.
All right, board members, any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we have a motion second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, we have nothing under a consent calendar, so moving into finance, we've got 40, 41 through 40, 43. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second. Thank you, Mr. Chris, thank you, Mr. Groom, and Paula, anything to add, or any highlights? Still a little lower spend than normal, under $1 million. You did good this week. All right, we have a motion second. Any questions? All right, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries 4-0. Personnel, we always have plenty to look at from Ms. Stile there. Do we have a motion to accept?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Mr. Groom. Thank you, Ms. Whitlock. And any questions?
Now, I'd just like to comment under the people that are retiring. I didn't add it up because I wasn't quick enough to do that, but there's a big number there at the bottom if you add those people up. And I just want to recognize the contributions all of them have made to the school system, to our kids, in every capacity that they've served, not just in the ones here, but the ones that they had in the past.
Yep, for sure. And I'm assuming, Ms. Stile, you'll have a retirement ceremony for us
Yes,
near
sir.
the end of the year,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So, okay.
And that will include not just these retirements, but of course, you know, we've
Yeah.
had retirements throughout the year since our last retirement
Yeah.
discussion. So we'll include everyone.
All right.
It is amazing though, when you add up the years of service, it's a lot too.
And just some of the stories. I know Ms. Bishop goes back to Mount Hope Elementary School
Yes.
with us.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
All right, we have a motion second. If there's no other questions, on favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Motion carries 4-0. And now we'll get into our superintendent's report.
We finally did get confirmation from the West Virginia Department of Education. We submitted a waiver to get those 5 days back that the governor declared state of emergency. So we went ahead and asked for 5 days. We did receive all 5 days, and after today, we have now used those 5 days. So we're at zero. We're at a zero balance, which is good. So that means school will end on May 28th for the students, and that's the last day. What I'd like to do, though, if we get another day like this, because let's be honest, I don't bet on Mother Nature. Mother Nature dictates what we do. We just react to it. I would like to trade out that PL day that we have on the Monday after spring break. I believe that's April 13th. And that would be the day we would try to swap out. That's kind of where we're at this point in time because we've exhausted all the days. So the good news is we got the waiver. The bad news is that's still 5 days that, let's be honest, the kids didn't get instructional time that we wanted, that we're used to, but that's where we're at this point in time. Number two, this week on March 19th at 2 o'clock at AOGT Fit Nursing Graduation Ceremony. So March 19th at AOGT at 2 p.m. graduation of the nursing program. And to go back to your question, Mr. Keaton said we have 12 to 15 at the HVAC.
Great.
The cap is at 15.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
Sorry about that. And then, bless you, go one more time. You can do it. The last thing I have is on March 25th, and I know, Josh, this will help you out with some hours, and it's close. The Armory in Summersville at 5:30 to 6:30 is you're being fed. We're all getting fed for that. And then at 6:30 will be the training for this area, for this region. It goes back from either Beckley Armory or Nicholas County, their armory, but this year it's in Summers County, or Summersville and at Nicholas County at their armory at 5:30. So I believe that'll be 2 of your training credits that you have to get. Just want to let you know that. We'll give you a friendly reminder because that's easy to forget. But we're getting ready for, I talked to Ms. Whitlock earlier about this, we're getting ready for banquet season. Let's be honest, there's a lot of accolades that will be happening. Whether you have a band banquet, athletic banquet, or you celebrate all the achievements that happens with Teacher of the Year, Service Personnel of the Year, and we have retirements. So this will be the fun time of the year when we go into banquet season and all the things that are happening with all the accolades. So there are a lot of positive things going on in the school systems. I think too many times people go to social media with the negatives, but we do have a lot of great kids that we're working with. And the reason why I say a lot of great kids is they're now getting used to me letting me know through, I won't call it the chain of command, I'll call it the backdoor channels, that they let me know when it's snowing or it's icy, and they're concerned about tomorrow already. So I appreciate my job like that, but I will say this morning, I can't believe on St. Patrick's Day, we didn't get to have school. But other than that, the kids, it's nice to have them have a little fun with the superintendent, and I appreciate that. But other than that, guys, this year is rapidly coming to a close. And just remember at the beginning of the year, we started out with red carpet with that 5% increase. That is still the mantra here. We want to continue that, and right now our data is looking pretty good. I will say the negative side of our data is, and Ms. Hedrick did a good job talking to the legislative people about this. Attendance does matter, and our attendance is not where it should be. I'll be honest with you. So we're going to work on that and keep fighting the good fight. But Ms. Hedrick did a good job when she talked to people about having a little bit of teeth to making sure people understand you need to come to school. It's important. And the best type of person that you want is availability. We can train people. We can get them ready for whatever we need them to, but coming to school every day will get you ready to work every day in your life. So we'll continue to fight the good fight as we move forward. But that's all I have, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Any other questions for Mr. Ward? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move into 8,000 series. So in accordance with 6-9A-4.2.a and 6-9A-4.3 School Laws of West Virginia, the governing body of a public agency may hold an executive session